Oh dear. Oh dear. You see, it looks like we have a bit of a miscommunication problem that's transpired. For those of you who missed my last episode on the We Find Out channel at liveleak.com, let me bring you up to speed. That's why I tell you to follow the tips and info on Twitter so you can know right away when I've done a new episode on LiveLeak. See, the miscommunication had to do with the fact that this program is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just here to entertain you. And if you don't know who I am, my name is nursechad.com. That is my full legal name. I got the idea from kim.com. And yesterday I told of an incident that revolved around a problem I had with one of my listeners who liked to talk a lot of trash, you know, make threats. He lived in Florida, and he said he wanted to curb stomp me. He wanted to curb stomp me. It means he wanted to put my head against the side of a curb and kick it. So I wanted to give him the opportunity to see what it's like. And when I showed up at his place of employment, he let me see just how fast a goddamn Toyota Tercel could go. Since I couldn't get Justin, I figured, hey, you know, why not see what his brother was up to? It looked a lot alike. Only the brother doesn't sound as assured of himself with tape around his mouth. He comes like this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what he sounds like. Oh, but then, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm getting lost in the character. Like I said, this show, it's for entertainment purposes only. You know? And just like the police explained to you, Justin, you can't make an arrest based on a show that's entertainment. You see, things happen in real life that are similar to shows, and these things are coincidental. And sometimes, you know, real life can be an inspiration for an entertainment program. Like, okay, admittedly, we had a real life disagreement, I guess. Not even disagreement, really. It was a real life different points of view. I saw things one way. You saw them another. Now, just because your brother is allegedly missing, I mean, like Officer Randall told you, it could be just the fact that he doesn't want to have anything to do with you. You're pretty kind of an annoying guy, you know. And the fact that, you know, unfortunately his wife was expecting, you don't even know if that was going to be his kid. Like, for all you know, they could have just had a fight and she told him, listen, I'm pregnant with Nurse Chad's baby. Or something like that. You know, I just use that for an example because it's for entertainment purposes only, this program. I'm an entertainer, and when people like the program, what they do is they help me out with the PayPal. Keeps my vodka strong, under proof. Like it that way, it helps with the creative juices. UFC 170 just wrapped up. All my predictions were correct. Every single one of them. I have a friend on Facebook, Ouroboros Kane. He's a musician. One of the featured ones on Big Time Stars. He saw my video where I predicted everything. He writes, I'm calling you out. All your predictions are going to be shit and they're all going to be wrong. And it turns out they weren't, and they were all correct. What was really eerie was the Cormier-Cummings fight. Because that fight happened just like I saw it happening in my head. No bullshit. I knew this was going to be a fight just like an episode of Bully Beatdown, where he was going to be totally outclassed in every way one person can outclass another person. Freaking dork. I can't stand this Pat Cummings. And Herb Dean, man, what the hell is he on? He lets one fight where one fighter is basically allowed to kill another fighter, and then in the main event, Sarah takes one liver shot and he stops the fight. I love Ronda Rousey. I daydream about her. I think about what she might be doing at random moments in time. That's That's one of the reasons I do this show. So I can make enough with the PayPal and just follow her. Only for entertainment though. Just want to follow her and watch her matches. Where was I? Oh, the fight. Yeah, man. I think Herb Dean is starting to break down. I think the last fight that he called with Uriah Faber did damage to him. And I think he doesn't know how to calibrate himself anymore. So his stoppages are either going to be too soon or too late. And that's a dirty little secret, or I really shouldn't say secret, the unspoken thing about UFC. People watch an event and it's like, you don't know what you're going to get. For all you know, the referee might make a stupid call and boom. Weeks of anticipation, money, time to watch the event and all just pissed away. That's why WWE is kind of better when it comes to like fan investment. If you can handle it, like I can't even get into wrestling anymore. I tried watching it the other week and I honestly couldn't stand more than 2 minutes of it. Randy Orton had gotten on the mic and in just 2 minutes he destroyed my attention span. I don't know what the hell he was talking about. I remember when I was a kid, every goddamn wrestler was someone that was entertaining. You know why that is? It's because back in the day, wrestlers would experiment and create characters and they would test them and change them and refine them till they had the perfect formula. And then once they had the perfect formula, they would then go into the big leagues, the NWA, the WWF at the time. But now, the system isn't set up that way anymore because Vince McMahon and the WWE killed the system, not knowing what they were ultimately doing to themselves, almost like the butterfly effect. So you have wrestlers that need to practice and develop live, and the problem is they don't get a chance to experiment and refine if the audience doesn't take to them right away. Like Kazarni, most of you probably have no idea who he is. He would have been a great wrestler had he been given a chance to develop. That's why I don't watch that dumbness anymore, man. But you know, young people who are athletic, who are thinking about becoming someone who makes a living as either a sports entertainer or a UFC fighter, they wonder what they should do. So I'm going to discuss that with you. The first thing you should do is hook me up with the PayPal. Get some good karma going your way. No, I'm serious. If you don't, I curse you and nothing good will happen to you. Because you're getting free entertainment. You're not even being decent enough to give me $1. Douche. Oh, okay. So, anyhow, should you be a professional wrestler or an MMA fighter? I'm going to give you the pros and the cons of both of them. So a professional wrestler is on the road 300 days a year. On the road. That means they're going from town to town and getting into an airplane, and if you've never flown before, flying is the biggest pain in the ass on the planet Earth. You got to listen to the same spiel by the flight attendant time after time after freaking time. Then if you start pounding your head against something on the 70th time you've heard the damn spiel, they start asking you questions, and then those questions start to become repetitive. So it's maddening being on the road 300 days a year. Going from hotel to hotel, phone ringing. Oh, we're getting complaints, your room smells like marijuana. But when you're an MMA fighter, you get to be more stationary. There's a lot more time for family. But also, you know, partying, the partying advantage goes with the professional wrestler. You can get drunk every day. If you're a MMA fighter, you got to be sober and eat healthy all the time. You still got to do that to a degree as a wrestler because you got to maintain your physique. Also, wrestling is much more painful. Even though it's fake, they say every wrestling match is like being in a 30-mile-an-hour car accident. So imagine you're hit 300 times a year. That's what happened to Chris Benoit. I firmly believe that he was not an evil man. The problem was his finishing move, or one of his finishing moves. What he would do is he would go up to the top rope and he would do a diving headbutt. And what that would do is it would cause the brain to jilt for a fraction of a second. Now, that doesn't seem like much, and it's not. But imagine that happens to you 300 times a year for over 10 years. And of course, they give him an autopsy and they say, well, his brain was like an 80-year-old with dementia. And other people are like, well, how was he able to do what he was able to do if that's the case? I'm telling you, the brain is a funny thing, man. All that said, the health risks, I feel, are greater with professional wrestling. Because if you're hurt as a UFC fighter, you can fight in a manner that protects where you're hurt. But as a wrestler, if your back hurts, who cares? You still have to get body slammed as a professional wrestler. You still have to take suplexes. The money is basically an even draw. Unless you're at the very, very top. Then in which case I think as a wrestler you're kind of favored because you get merchandising deals. They're probably slightly better. Then you should also factor in the respect of the people. People know you're an MMA fighter. They're going to respect you. They know you're a professional wrestler. They're going to look at you like, oh, you're a fake. Plus, politics is a factor. If the people backstage don't like you as an MMA fighter, who cares? Dana White hates Alistair Overeem right now. Does that affect Alistair Overeem? No. Not as long as he keeps winning. If someone hates someone in the WWE, if Triple H hates you, then that's the end of you, son. So that's my advice to you. I think you're better off being an MMA fighter if you're a youngin' and you're thinking about what you want to do. Also, I've contacted Mr. Salouf. You'll be blessing this video. Anything that you give me, you'll be paid back in karma tenfold. However, if you've listened to this entire program and you've enjoyed it and you have the means to help out with the PayPal and you don't because you're a jerk, then your firstborn child is going to be inflicted with something unspeakable.